Hi everyone. So as I mentioned, we will now look at doing a Terraform apply to whatever settings we have given. We'll see if the local user setup has worked. So mind you, you would require to do the local user setup for you to deploy any of the Terraform settings. I have already done that, so my local user setup is already there. And now for me to apply these settings, one thing which we need to do is just go to your before you do a Terraform init and validate and your Terraform plan and apply. You should always see if you have proper values given to these settings. So we are calling it Agentic Compliance Automation. Region is US East 1, which is fine. Environment is dev, and then ingestion zip path is under agents. Ingestion dot zip, right? So what I'll do is, since we are not basically creating or developing the code under any of these steps right now, I will just give a dummy file right now, which we will call as main.py, which will actually contain the ingestion logic in the true sense. And this main.py, and similarly we will have a main.py under compliance also. Okay. Since we have given main.handler as your entry point, so I'm not sure if that would that would not basically be a problem as far as TFE apply is concerned. I think it will still not give you an error if it doesn't find the handler function, but ultimately we will create the handler function, which will actually do the ingestion and the compliance, right? Yeah, but one thing which definitely we have to do is open your folders and create a zip containing this main.py, because we are not having anything apart from main.py in our case. But yeah, ultimately if you have worked in Lambda, you know that you can have different dependencies which may be there as part of your Lambda code execution, right? So you may have a requirements.txt file which will contain the different dependencies, and then you may have to put those dependencies in the zip as well. But yeah, for now we don't have all that, so I'll just compress it and call it ingestion.zip. And similarly the same thing I'll do for compliance. Okay, and call it compliance.zip. By the way, there may be some difference because I am using a Mac here, and you may be using a Windows laptop. But yeah, you can figure it out. I suppose you have Copilot and ChatGPT if at all you face any of these basic problems, right? So we have these dummy zips and main.py files in place. Let's go ahead. Let me basically yes, so this is what we are having under this Agentic Compliance Automation folder. Let me quickly grab my login, because I have not logged in till now to AWS. So I'm there now. And then what is the next thing? We will do a Terraform init. Okay, we will do a Terraform validate, okay, which is working absolutely fine. We will do a Terraform plan, no configuration files, right? What is that configuration? Why is that coming? I have no idea. Okay, yes, so for you to do a Terraform plan, you would need to be inside your dev directory, because dev directory contains your tfvares file, right? So from where it picks the configuration values. So in our case it is infra environment, sorry, oh sorry. Just a second. Yes, so now I'll run the terraform plan command. See, so you have an error. So like that, you would need to basically resolve these errors. So let me perform a terraform init inside of this folder. So let it do that. Yes, so we have the Terraform init being successful. Let us quickly give Terraform validate as well here. Okay, so there is some problem with the validation. There is no function named file name. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to the Copilot only. I mean, why should I mean, we have all the fun. Let the Copilot also do something for us, right? So obviously I know which particular place it is coming. It is coming under your Lambda, right? Lambda.tf. Yes, let's go. Yes, so basically what it did, it removed that file name inside the function. Okay, that was not the right syntax. We are basically doing a SHA on the file name, which is nothing but the path. So anything if it gets changed inside of your zip, uh, we should be able to, it should get applied again. Okay, so it should recognize that, right? So let me do the Terraform validate again. So that's why you need Terraform validate, because you may have some errors which you may need to resolve at your end. So yes, in resource AWS Lambda function compliance, all of S3 bucket comma S3 key must be specified. Required argument, is it a required argument? Because I didn't see any warning as such. Okay. So let's give this to the Copilot, and you basically ask it to do the honors, right? So basically I was just looking into what is it that we can do to resolve this error. So idea is that since we want to keep it more generic and we don't want to make it more resource specific right now, at the start. So what I'm doing is, the thing is, if one setting we are putting, let's say I put this S3 bucket, as a setting, then you require the key also, because as a bucket it has no meaning. By key you mean the folder and the file name, that path. For example, if you have a bucket, we'll see what is a key, but ultimately if you have a bucket ABC under your S3, and then ABC, this bucket contains a folder, let's say XYZ, and then XYZ contains the file contract.pdf. So your key becomes your XYZ slash abc.pdf, the part after the bucket, and your bucket is obviously the pointer to this ABC bucket. Okay, so now if I try with this setting, we get that error, right? I have only S3 bucket, I don't have S3 key, correct? So it will give you a error. Now if I remove s3 bucket also, then it doesn't become a required attribute. So let me remove this for now. So s3 key and s3 bucket both we will remove for now, and we will just keep them as uh, commented out for both the lambdas. Okay, so I have done this for both of them. Okay, and then what we'll do is currently we will not have these coming from the module section also. Okay, so we will just keep the variables with no usage. Okay, later on when we actually need it, then we will when we will point all these permissions to specific resources, that is the time when you would need the bucket as well as the s3 key. Right now that is not needed, right? So coming back now, if I run my Terraform validate, it becomes a success. Now let us go and look at plan first. If plan is successful, generally apply also is successful. I'm telling generally, but yeah, there may be errors only in form also. So let me quickly do a login again, right? And then I'll do a Terraform plan. So now it works out. Now it goes through fine, and we will apply these settings. Okay, we have to give a yes. It will create all these different services, and we will go and check inside of our AWS console if yes, if at all these services whatever we have tried to configure or try to create have actually got created. Okay, so we'll see if s3 got created, lambdas got created, your step functions got created or not, and so on and so forth, right? Okay, before that there is one error. Okay. Definition: minimum field size of one validation error found. Let me just quickly put it here to not waste much time. Yes, so basically I gave that error to the Copilot, and it worked on the file to resolve that error. So anyway we will have to review this ASL file, so I am not giving it a a very exhaustive view. We can keep it plain and simple. So one small mistake which we did is we gave a wrong path here. So just make sure that you are giving the right path to the step functions ASL file. Okay, so step functions I am keeping inside the step functions folder inside of my infra folder. Okay, so that is one thing. After that, once it resolved that error, it was a minor error, minor syntactical error. The changes got applied. So I've applied the Terraform changes, and what we'll do is we'll quickly go to the first of all the s3 bucket and see if the bucket got created inside of the US East 1 region. So agentic compliance automation dev s3 artifacts. Okay, so this got created. Let's quickly go to the step functions and see if the state machine got created. Okay, so we have the compliance automation dev state machine. This also got created. Let's quickly go to the Lambda to see if the Lambda got created. Yes, dev ingestion Lambda is there, dev compliance Lambda is there. Okay, so we have whatever we required. Our Terraform settings are properly applied. What we'll do is, in the next video we will work on the development of the two lambdas, and we'll see if the entire workflow works fine. Okay, so I'll take a leave right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.